Hi, okay, hold on. I'm just making sure everything's set. I thought it was, and then something popped up. It's funny how that happens. Alright, guys, welcome back. We are on day 79. We almost made it to 80 days of learning how to draw. And in case anyone missed last stream, this is what we worked on. We worked on drawing squares that are, measured the way you're supposed to measure them in terms of art, as opposed to using rulers and stuff like that. And then, so we've been doing that for the past 2 days. We are now moving on to lesson 9, if I can get there. And I'm on schedule, but also behind schedule. It's kind of one of those weird things. You've ever had that happen before? Where it's like, oh, okay, I sat down a little bit early, but it's like, but there's a couple of things that popped up, then I wasn't able to do other things, but at least I made it to where I was supposed to be. That's kind of where I am right now, so it's like, oh, okay, let's relax and get in the zone. Alright, so this is lesson 9. Let me show it to you the way you guys are supposed to see it. Okay, oops, there we go. So what essentially is going to be drawn is, if I haven't looked at the lesson, so I don't know, but just looking at this, is it looks like I'm drawing a rectangle that, like, it's basically 3 squares, but it looks like I'm doing a rectangle. Hold on. A, B, A, C, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. So let's see what we end up actually drawing. It's essentially 3 squares that make 2 rectangles that are perpendicular to each other. Alright, the figure which forms, lesson 9. And then we're going to go into the explanation of what we are to do with this exercise. The figure which forms the subject of this lesson is of an oblong A, B, C, D, composed of 2 equal squares and a like square F, G, D, H to the right of it. This, with the square E, B, F, D, makes another oblong E, G, B, H equal to A, B, C, D. These figures are called rectangular parallelograms. And then there's a little asterisk. The leaf of this drawing book is a parallelogram and is rectangular. That is, all its angles are right angles. Like the square, they have 4 right angles and differ from it only in not having all their sides of equal length. The essential character of this figure consists in all its angles being right angles and in the proportion between its adjacent sides and the base. Its properties are the same, whether it be comparatively narrow or so wide as to approximate to a square. To draw an oblong whose longest side shall be in proportion to the shortest, as 2 to 1, first draw the square AEFC. Okay, I'm drawing the square AEFC. Okay, so I'm supposed to draw the square. Got it. Then extend the lines AE to B and CF to D till EB is as long as AE and FD as long as CF. FD as long as CF. Okay, so we draw this square and then we measure it so that these are of equal lengths. Okay. Then draw the line BD. Right, then we're going to draw the line BD. Now draw FG equal to EF, FG equal to EF, and DH equal to BD. So DH equal to BD. And the figure is complete, but it may be executed in another way. Okay, so that's one way of drawing this. The second way to draw it is fix on the point A and on the point B, perpendicularly under it, having drawn the line AB, draw AC half the length of AB, and at right angles with it, then perpendicularly under C and level with B as accurately as the eye can judge, place B and AC. Then draw the square FDGH as already described, and if all the lines be parallel and all the angles right angles, the figure is right. This figure must be executed in both ways as here described. It matters not in drawing this figure whether you make a copy the exact size of the original or not. The point of consequence is that your copy should be a strictly rectangular, meaning right-angled figure, of the same proportions as the original, and the ready way by which you will ascertain those proportions is to divide the long side actually, or to imagine it to be divided by the width or base. When you can do this with facility, you may draw oblongs or parallelograms of different proportions by making the long sides A, B, and CD twice, 3 times, or 4 times longer than their bases A, C, and B, D. Whatever be the length of the sides, it is of consequence that your hand should be exercised in drawing them with as few breaks as possible. The great object in this lesson is that you should learn to draw parallelograms of any required proportion. Okay. I hope that made sense to everyone. So there's basically 2 ways of drawing this. And that is you draw this square, and then you draw this square directly underneath it, that's equal to that, and then you draw this square equal to this square. And there you have it. Another way of doing it is drawing these 2 lines, A, B, C, D, right? A, B, C, D. Okay, so you do AB, then you draw AC half a length to B. So you need to draw this line first. So this is the line. Then draw CD. And then next, draw this one. So how you would do that is you make DH the same length as BD. And then you just make sure G is the same length as this, and then you would do F last. Or you'd have to draw these lines first. Then you draw this line, then this line. Then you connect these 2. Next, you would have to you extend this halfway. I remember that, but then looks like you have to FG. Okay, so you do this, then you draw FG. I'm confused as why you wouldn't do FD first, because you need to make sure DH and FD are the same. They want you to make sure these guys are the same. But how do you know F's height? FG equal. Okay. But you don't have the point E when you're doing this. So what you would have to do is find the point F. Make sure these are equal lengths, find the point F, and then you start drawing it like that. Okay, that makes sense now. I'm going to do it the first way described because that's the one that makes the most sense to me. Maybe tomorrow we'll try it the other way, but for today it's going to be this way just because that makes the most sense. I knew this lesson was going to be a little complicated. That's why I didn't go into it yesterday. I figured it would be better to do it today after I got used to doing some more squares with lesson D. With lesson 8. Jeez, lesson D. And I need... just to save on paper, use oh, that's weird. No, that's not gonna work. Okay. Thought that would, but it's not. That way the pile doesn't get too big and I don't have to get new paper. So all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to save on how much paper I'm using. This tape off. We'll see if I end up reusing it. Alright, so I hope that doesn't confuse anyone. If you guys have questions or you're wondering what it is that was being said, let me know and I can try to paraphrase it as best as I understand it so it makes a little more sense. Because I know the way he talks is very different from how we talk in modern times. It's just like, I think I said in like my first videos, not even the lives, that I really liked the way he talked and the way he wrote things because it's very descriptive. It explains a lot, and it's the way he phrases things isn't phrased like things aren't phrased like that as commonly. So I find it pretty interesting and nice to listen to, and I'm able to understand it to an extent. Like it takes me a couple of tries to like read the entire thing, and then I have to go back and read it, and like what sections I didn't completely understand again and stuff like that. So if I need to rephrase things or explain things differently, please definitely let me know because I can do that. It's just I like the way, so I want anyone else who enjoys the way he writes, I want them to be able to listen. So I am reading directly from the book. I did look and there was no copyright on there, and that's probably because it is an older book and I don't think there's an estate or anything in which they kept up with the copyright or stuff like that. So okay, this is completely straight. Where's my pencil? And we can get started. I did manage, for anyone who's wondering, I did manage to take this paper off, and it is pretty straight, so we are going to continue. Oh, hold on. This, so I was, well, I'll show. I can take it off. So these are pretty decent lines. I think we're gonna, I think this one I'm gonna have to make this line a little straighter. But other than that, it looks pretty good, so we can get onto the rectangle. And that's pretty much all I think we will accomplish today. Just because these lessons are time consuming, and I'm still not at a point where I can take a full 2 hours to stream. Uh-oh. Shoot, I messed that up. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to get this to be angled a little bit better. Okay. There we go. Alright, that's much better. what were we doing? Okay, so I need to make the line AE. Uh-oh, okay. I see what I'm supposed to do. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is draw the line A, E. Okay. So this is point A and then point E. Let's first make that where it needs to be. So it's kind of straight, but at the very end, it curves inwards. So give me just a second to uncurve it. I should just end the line there before it curves instead of trying to make it to the point that I want it to be. There we go. So this is point E. Now I am to okay, so I'm making the square the way I was making the square in lesson 8. Okay. So now I find points C. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's too short, but okay, looks like right at the end. Yeah, it's too short. A little too high. That's the end, right? No, it's the closest to the other. It's just a little bit shorter. The tiniest bit shorter. Hold on, I want to... Oh, this is what I can do. Okay, so just make sure it's a little too high up. So just make that right here. There we go, except I went to the wrong dot. Hold on. This is where that's the even line. That's where the line needs to go. And I still moved it up. Jeez. Give me a second. Okay. Let's redraw the point. Okay. Let's try not to be wobbly this time. Paper's all crinkled, but that doesn't mean we can't draw a straight line. There we go. Yeah, I got rid of the point because I was getting sick of what was happening. Okay, so this is point C. Now to make the point F. Yeah, I already knew it was 2 over. There we go. Except I think that line sloped inward. And that's just because that's how I drew it. Not because the point's right where it needs to be. There we go. Straight line. Straight line. Alright. Yeah, that's a curved line. Hold on. Extended it for some reason. There we go. Awesome. This is F. Okay. I need to put, yeah, F should be right there. No, F can't be right there. F has to be drawn a little straighter right here, out of the way. Now, we extend to BG. So, what we're looking to do, right there, we're extending to right there. Not far enough away. Excellent. It's a little in, but we can deal with that later. It's supposed to be along this line. Alright. That should be B. Let's try that again. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I see what I did. Okay. There we go. Nice straight line. Then you want to extend D. Same length. I was wondering. Alright, hold on. Had a feeling. After I started drawing this, I was like, this one looks a little weird. Yeah, so C's a little off. Weird. How did C get off? I thought I had measured that. There we go. It would help. Hold on, let me get Mabel off the cord. I just gotta move this out of the way. This paper is making this really hard to draw the line straight. Yeah. Okay. Now, there we go. Now let's draw this line. So this is the most accurate way to draw it when you're a novice, I guess. And then once you get used to it, you can do this pretty easily. But let me just check. So that's the length, but is it the... Oh, yep, it is. Excellent. Alright, so we have A. So we know what step we're on. A, B, C, F, and then this is D. Now, we draw the third square. Yeah, I had a feeling we weren't going to get very far if we did this. Okay, so we are to do FG first. So we want that to be pretty even. So around here. Well, pretty much perfect. Just gonna move it over just a little bit. Alright, now we gotta make sure it lines up. Because it's in between that, so I just want to make sure I make the line and where it's supposed to land. There. Okay. Now to find point H. A little too over. There we go. Alright. cast a little bit. And then the bottom part of this dot wants to go, that has to go away. And then right there has to go away because I need to be exactly on this dot. Let's see what happens now. Okay. Yeah. Try to draw right to the line. Made the point exactly where it needed to be. Perfect. Oh. I moved my chair for no reason. Cool. And there you have it. It took, what, 15, 20 minutes to draw this? Not bad. Just had to keep looking. It said like you were supposed to do this without any breaks. I don't think I took breaks. Other than to look to see what I was doing. Okay. Yeah, I'm drinking from my water bottle today. No bubbling. Whew. So, I think we're gonna do this one more time and call it a day because I'm pretty sure that's all I'm gonna have time for. I could be mistaken and we might have time to at least draw some lines on the proportions of a human figure, but we'll see. So, first, do I have enough room? I think I have enough room to draw it again. I might have to draw it a little bit smaller, but that's fine. Okay. So this is going to be point A for our next drawing. We need to find a point E. Yeah, this should definitely, yeah, that'll give us enough room. So I'm going to stick with this length. It's a little bit smaller, but I want to make sure that we have room to draw this. So now let me make sure that this is going to be a straight line. Nope. Curved it. Excellent. And now I find point C. So I found E. Now to find C. So it's a little bit. Oh, that's great. So like in between. Oh, that's not good. Can I make it a little bit longer? It's fine. I can figure that out. Okay. So it's gonna be somewhere around there. I think that's it actually, but let's just make sure. Alright. If it's a little off, it's a little off, but that's like pretty good. I don't know why I slanted the line up. Probably because I wasn't sitting right in the chair. It's like, let me angle that. Let me pretend I'm drawing a vertical line instead of a horizontal line. There we go. Now to find point F. Let's see. Pretty good. Pretty good. So I need to go straight to that line. That's awesome. Okay. C and F. Now to draw B. So we need to make B the same. Maybe around there. Length. Pretty good. Is it directly underneath? No, it's a little over. There we go. Now we're extending to point B. Oops. There we go. Okay, let's just make sure that's measured right. Cool. And now we want to do the same thing for point D. Let's see if that's about the same. Actually, a little bit shorter. It should be a little bit longer. Okay, and is this the same length? Okay, so this is the same length. Now we're just gonna make sure this is the same length. Okay, so I need to go right in between the two. So I'm gonna draw BD first instead of FD. There we go. Hold on. C's not a straight line. Give me a second. It's measured right. It just curved for some reason right at the top. There we go. That's weird. Now we need to find H. Yeah, I'm way off. A little bit further. There we go. That should be good. Let's just check. Get rid of these lines. Okay. And then we're gonna draw the line. That is G. Now to find H. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get this lined up with G, you want to get lined up with D, and then you want to make sure you measure it to make sure it is the same length. And then you draw the lines. Which are zero slope lines. Cool. Yeah. Well, that honestly didn't take as long as I thought it was going to be, but that's probably because I did a smaller. What did he call this? A parallelogram? I guess oblong. He also called it an oblong. An oblong with a square next to it. That's what he says. The figure which forms the subject of this lesson is of an oblong ABCD, composed of two equal squares and a like square FGDH to the right of it. So I have no idea what this is actually. An L. I guess an L is another thing that we can call it. Okay. So that didn't take as long as I thought it would. And it's kind of, like I said, we're starting to get into more complex shapes and structures, which is making this a lot of fun. The process is to kind of see like how far we've come in a short amount of time. And just like, I now have like the knowledge of, okay, this is what I should be doing when I'm trying to draw this. So that also kind of really neat and stuff, because it does it is something that I use when I'm trying to draw the master copies, so that's kind of cool that it like transfers over to other aspects what I'm learning here, which makes sense. And it makes sense, but it's cool to see in practice. So let's do this. Let's move everything and get ready to do some drawing on the master copy sketch, which I will show you what it is that I'm going to attempt to finish today. Let's get into the proportion drawings. I think, why did they do that? Unbelievable. They dog-eared my book. It's okay. It's okay. I shouldn't have gone that bad. I'm sorry. There's no reason for it. Okay. So what we have right now is we have the circumference, the diameter line down the middle of the circle, and then so like you've got your circle quadrants. So that's what we have drawn so far. Next, what we want to do, what I'm going to be working on, is drawing the square. So I'm going to start with the sides because those are it's a square, so let's draw the square the way we've been doing it. With points are already there, so it's just kind of connecting the dots at this point. So I'm going to connect the dots in the order in which we're learning from Harding. That should help with that. And then Harding doesn't get too circular. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if I can line up when we do the curved lines to when I'm going to get started, but we don't start curved lines until lessons 17 and 18. He's calling those arches. So we're on lesson 9. So we're about 8 lessons away. Yeah, I'm just going to have to wing it. I might look at the reference. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to understand what he's saying because it builds upon the other lessons, which we haven't learned yet. So I'm just going to have to wing it when I do the circle, which is fine. It's fine. But yeah, so that's going to be what we attempt to draw today because there's not a whole lot of time left before I have to go. So, and this is supposed to take a while. Like, it's not something that we're supposed to be going through fast. That's why I only have 4 drawings that I want to accomplish this year. Okay. Let's get the piece of paper down. I really would prefer to have this on some other form that I can just move. Okay, let's do the sketchbook. I should have just used it to begin with, but whatever. Because this, oh, hold on. I don't think, right, I want to use, I want something that my hand's not going to be able to move. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Hold on, I just messed up a whole pile of papers. Give me a second. Somebody's awake. Somebody who's not supposed to be awake is awake. That one should be sleeping. Okay. Just give me 1 second, please.